Hey, folks, welcome to the Generational Gap. I'm Robert, your resident Gen Xer, and right over there is John, our resident Millennial.
Millennial.
Lolly.
Millennial.
John, how are
I
you
like
doing tonight?
millennial.
Don't hold
Pretty
back. Tell
good.
me the
Pretty
truth.
good. Not too bad. Not too bad.
It's a
Doing all
safe
right.
space here. Tell us the truth, John.
Well, no, I'm actually doing pretty good because I got a pretty big paycheck today, so feeling
I
good
don't
about that.
understand. I don't understand big paycheck.
Got a big paycheck.
All the waiting periods are over.
Yeah.
You got you got your first big pay jump.
Second one, but yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
nice, right?
Oh yeah, it's super nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, it's always nice. It's always fun. It's always fun. You enjoying the work, doing good.
Yeah,
That's what matters.
yeah. Like it's not something I want to do forever, but I enjoy doing it. So nothing wrong with that.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. The key thing is like I say, I'll always say explore all those jobs that are out there. Just because you can land actual real world jobs.
Yeah.
You know, I'm testament to that. Spent 3 years working for a company. Eventually, for the last year of the contract going on as a W-2 employee. They
Nice.
were one of my biggest clients. Oh, I see we have Wyatt in the house, by the way.
We do indeed.
He
What's
was
up,
first,
Wyatt?
he says, unless Henry shows up. But yeah.
Right then Henry's first, of course.
But I think to my credit, I think just that client alone sits at like I don't know. It's a five figures I made from them over the course of time. I was actually six figures all told. It was pretty nice. Yeah, yeah. Work from home, people. Find it, do it. It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
It's
Hell yeah.
oh, you have audio, but there it is. That your video caught up.
Yeah, we're good now.
Why are you
Yeah.
doing that?
I actually found out that it's this room, and it's just Zoom that does it. So
Weird.
I'll tell you afterwards, though. Yeah, I'll tell you after about it.
Weird.
But yeah,
Weird.
yeah,
Um, so
but yeah, it's just
yeah,
this room, and it's just Zoom.
so luckily YouTube is back up. Apparently they had a worldwide outage,
Yeah.
and I experienced it not being on the computer. I was in the house and with the grandchild, and she was wanting to watch funny cat videos. She loves watching
Who
silly cat
doesn't?
stuff,
Yeah, who doesn't?
right? But trying to pulling videos up, and I'm just getting the spinning wheel of doom. I'm like, what? And I'm looking, Wi-Fi connections all up and everything. YouTube, nothing's happening. So I'm like, all right, well, whatever. And then I, come out here after she goes to sleep and then start looking, and it's like, oh, it was down for everybody. Okay.
Yeah, it was down worldwide.
Didn't
Crazy,
take long for it to hit the news articles, right? Who jumped on that first?
right?
The Verge. The
Verge was the one I got.
Verge.
Yeah,
The Verge. We're on the verge. I see
but
Midget
luckily we
B
get to do our shoot.
has shown up in the old D Live,
The old live.
his YouTube chat.
There
Now
he
he's
is.
picking up the.
Yeah, I didn't see it on YouTube chat. That's all right.
That's weird. I hate it when that happens. I see Elephant
Hey,
Man in
Elephant
the house.
Man.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
What up?
So more. Oh, John. Oh, John. I just don't. I don't understand it. I just.
What
I
don't we
want.
understand
I wanted
today?
to stop. You've heard about? Have you heard about the Pennsylvania postal workers that apparently alleged election fraud, right?
Yes, yeah.
But apparently he signed an affidavit saying it was, but then when they were investigating, and I'll give a little bit more detail, but apparently when he was speaking to investigators at some point throughout the process, he recanted his testimony, what he said, and then he turns around and comes out later after the New York, was it the Washington Times?
Washington Post or the New York Times or all
Uh,
these fucking media rags. Oh my god.
where was it? It was yeah, it was the Washington. Shit, I just had the name of it. It's killing me. Oh, Washington Post. Yeah, it was the Washington
Mm,
Post. But anyway, they run with it. They put it out there that he recanted, and then he comes back and he says, "No, I didn't recant." And
right.
and I guess is implying some sort of coercion, manipulation, blah blah blah, that
Yeah.
resulted in that. And he said, "Wait till tomorrow." So I don't know what's coming out tomorrow that's going to shed light on this.
Well, I know James O'Keefe dropped like I think 2 hours or something like that. Uh, don't quote me on that time, but I think it was something like 2 hours worth of just of raw audio from
Right.
that interrogation. When he thought they were trying to help him, they were instead, interrogating him, I guess. Um, so I haven't actually listened to it, so I can't really speak on that. But I don't know, some fucky things are going on, man.
Yeah. Well,
Really fucky things are going on.
I'd have to I will, if you've got, if you can, get that link over to me, that would be awesome. Some access to that, because I'd love to listen in on that, because ultimately, short of physical coercion, um, if you're if you're solid in your testimony that this is, what you're saying, what you witnessed is
Yeah.
correct, there should be no way of getting you to recant it.
Dude, no,
Is
those
there?
police interrogations and stuff, they're extremely manipulative. The people who do them are very, very good at what they do.
Convince you to
Um,
lie? Convince you
yes,
to change your entire
yes,
story
they'll
to a
convince
lie?
you. They can convince you
Hmm.
to confess to a murder that you actually didn't commit. It happens often enough to where it's a thing. Now, I was going to say it happens all the time, but it doesn't happen all the time,
Well,
right?
that's what I'm wondering, who these investigators were. I don't know if it was police or who was investigating it, right?
I
So,
think it
because
was.
I'm
Yeah, I think
assuming
it
it would
was
be
one of the
election
Alphabet Boys.
officials.
I don't know. I don't know who it was.
So we have to find that out. But
Yeah,
this is another one that, but I keep turning around, and like, there was another one that,
FBI says Elephant Man.
the FBI. Okay. So there
Yeah,
was
they're going to be good at it too.
I
They're going to
don't
be
I
extremely
don't
good at that.
I don't like having the FBI involved in. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess you got to have somebody. Who do we have investigating this besides the FBI? Who should be doing that? Should it be the DOJ? And I guess the FBI is their branch, their arm that they would use for that.
I suppose. Yeah.
I don't know. It gets sketchy. But, article talking about a video that went viral of an election official, yeah, a poll worker, um, filling in ballots, and it was
Yeah.
a shot just
Hmm.
showing her, and it was like a minute long, her just sitting there filling in ballots, and making the claim that she was just, stuffing ballots.
Hmm.
But apparently turned around, and what had happened was he had zoomed in on her, but when you zoomed out, if you had zoomed out, you would have seen election officials standing around watching what she's doing, because they were correcting ballots, not filling them. So, like, if a ballot is torn, or if there's something where it
Yeah.
can't
We
process
talked.
in the machine, right? So
Yeah.
these are going around. So my question are, what are these that are being put out? Is this hurting Donald Trump's position in trying to prove fraud?
I mean, I don't think so. Maybe. If no, if it's hurting anything, it'd be the public perception of whether or not there's election fraud. But that was already going to be highly contentious anyway.
Right.
We already see, YouTube put stuff up saying, oh, the AP has called the election for Joe Biden. Twitter does the same thing. Like this, they'll put like this. What is it? This claim of election fraud is disputed. Like this,
Right.
so they're already, they're running that narrative anyway. So anything that comes out that might question whether or not there was election fraud, is going to be run with by the media, especially.
Well, is it? But is there? I mean, I understand why they would do that from a liability standpoint when we get into this. When we start to have this argument about, um, you know, publisher versus platform, what they can get in trouble for allowing. If it's false allegations, this, that, and the other, and they allow it to go, are they going to be liable for that? You
See, I
know,
don't think they should be responsible for what people say on their platform. I don't think they should be, but they apparently think they should, and so they want to police it. You know, I don't know. I don't think
well,
it's
I
a good
mean,
thing though.
there's starting to be more government overreach into these social platforms.
Yeah.
So, I guess there's a pretty healthy fear that it's that creates these situations. I mean, Facebook is getting shat upon, I guess, for their approach to how they've done with all of this election shit. And it's just like, you know, is it, are we about to see something happen where somebody's going to step in? I mean, is the federal government going to step in on these social platforms? You know, I,
Um, I don't know. Yeah, see, I don't know. It's gonna be very strange, especially assuming that Joe Biden takes office.
well,
I think you see that. I think you see that go a lot less. I think you see that there's less, regulation of these social media platforms because they won't care anymore, right? Because I mean, we know that the social media platforms already lean left, and they're doing the things that leftists want them to do. So with Biden in office, I think they'll leave it alone. The only reason they've been challenged is because Trump was in office, in my opinion. And I'm not saying that Trump had anything to do with it. I'm just saying that I think that is the reason why something was starting to be done about it, because they were overplaying their hand and going too far with it.
well, what kind of things do you think Trump can manage before he goes out of office, though? Because a lot of people are speculating and wondering what he might do in these last 2 months, 2+ months that he has left in office. You know, there's a lot that he could do, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he could make some pretty drastic changes, and he could like assert some pretty heavy-handed authority, especially in regards to anything that he sees as enemy, which
Yeah, but
social media could, Twitter for one,
oh, for sure.
right?
But I mean, the only way he could do something like that is through executive order, which as soon as he's out of office can be, changed.
Re-execufied,
Right. Unexecufied.
which is
So I
exactly
don't
what
think
Biden's
that's
been
going to.
talking about doing as soon on his first day in office. Is he's got a whole list of executive orders he wants to fire off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God! Now, are we now at the six gun executive order slinger? Is that what it's come
Yeah.
down to? Now they're just coming in with pistols loaded, ready to executive order their new presidency.
Right.
Um, that's gonna really, yeah, it's really gonna make things questionable. Because when I heard that, I'm like, no, that's not how you need to start off your presidency. It's just firing off a bunch of shit. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's bad enough you're bringing Kamala with you, but yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of concerned. There's actually one of my clients today. We were talking a little bit about it, and he's like, I don't like it when it gets quiet like this. Like we're not hearing
Yeah.
anything from Trump other than his lackeys out there. Sorry to use the term lackeys, but that's what they are out there. Trying to promote the recounts and
Yeah.
get these lawsuits in place, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas he's being, I don't know,
I don't think he's
deceptively
been.
quiet,
I don't think
strategically
he's.
quiet.
I don't think he's been that quiet.
Well,
He's
other than, I mean, he's not. I don't know.
he's still firing off tweets left and right.
Yeah, I still question sometimes if that's him or if if some of
Oh,
that's,
it's definitely him.
yeah, probably.
I think he's one of the very few people in elected office who manage their own Twitter account. I don't think most of them do,
Michael
but I think.
Cohen. Michael Cohen says he doesn't expect Trump to come back from his Christmas stay in Mar-a-Lago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like he's speculating that Donald Trump will just take that as an opportunity to disappear, and then never show up at the inauguration.
I don't know.
And I'm like, that's not Trump's style. I don't see,
Yeah.
no, that he won't turn tail and run. But now they have said there are
No.
talks, of course, articles coming out with talks from people on the inside, given tidbits saying that there is conversation about him running in 2024. Should this not go his way, of course, because if he's still got one more term he can stick under his belt. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I do. If it's, I'm like, there's got to be the shoe. There's the other shoe's got to drop at some point, right? Something. I don't know. 2020 can't be done, right? It can't be done.
Yeah, yeah, we're
It
expecting
can't go
something
with a whimper.
big.
It won't go with a
Something,
whimper.
no, something big is definitely going to be coming.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know
Um,
what it'll take, but for sure.
both Elephant Man and Ron Helton are in agreement that they're still surprised Florida went off without a hitch. By the
Yeah,
way,
that's
good to see you,
actually
Ron
probably
Helton.
yeah, good to see you, man. But that's actually
Still
very
a,
scary. That's
still
very scary. When Florida does shit right,
right.
that's scary.
Um, Midget
What
says
world is this?
he agrees with you. They shouldn't be responsible for what's put on their platforms. He thinks there should be clarification added. I like the change in language that's been proposed. Haven't seen that yet, but I'd like to see it.
Yeah,
Helton says we were promised a republic. We have strayed, and these tech giants are trying to push this country into all-out socialism.
yeah, for
Well,
sure.
but is I mean, think about it. You know, it's social media. It's the whole idea of social media is like this is not a beast that can be contained anymore, right? You don't even have to be a tech giant anymore to put a social media platform out there, and there's hundreds of them now, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's this is yes, we can say something about the tech giants and everything out there, and I get it. Bad mojo, yeah. I don't want Google to take over the internet world, as it were, or start running parts of my life outside the internet.
right.
I don't want those kind of things, but this is a genie we cannot put back in the bottle, and the very nature of it leads me to believe that it inherently will create a socialist society from the ground floor of social interconnectivity. Does that make sense? Am I saying that right, John?
I know what you mean. I don't think it'll create socialism as like an economic system,
Well, I
which
mean,
is what socialism is.
more
It's not always
the butterfly effect, right?
right. No, I know that's what I'm saying. I get what you mean. Because socialism is colloquially used in a social
Right.
ways, not just in an economic way. So I don't think it'll do it economically. Um, I mean, these tech giants wouldn't do well under socialism. They would get taxed into fucking the grave. Um, but I don't know. I definitely think there will be more. Yeah, it'll certainly drive us into a more progressive world, which obviously I don't think is a good thing. But
Well, I look at some of these dystopian movies and stuff that I've watched in the past, and one of them that jumps to mind was Her with Joaquin Phoenix, and it was very much a disconnected society, disconnected from um, personal contact, like
mm,
because everybody was on their devices, everybody was connected digitally, but so you'd have groups of people standing around, but they weren't talking to each other. They were talking to their computers. They were interacting in that way. And I
right,
see that emerging. I see us, it may be another 30 years before it really gets to that point, but I see us
yeah,
on the precipice of launching down that hill, and not being able to stop it. I don't know how you're going to stop it. Everything that we do is going digital. This year alone, with the coronavirus, is a great example of how many people, take yourself for instance, are pushed into a digital world to work, right?
yeah,
How many
hmm
companies have found that they can exist as a workspace in the digital world and minimize the connectivity of people on a in a personal way, a tangible way, as it were.
hmm
And it's a little scary. And if you look at that bigger picture, I don't worry so much about it affecting my life, but I do see that it is going to have an impact on my children. Right?
yeah,
I'm looking at it through their eyes, and then the grandchildren
right,
looking at it even from their eyes, how they're going to be so much more inundated into this digital society, where we really start to lose touch with much more than our close knit group family, as it were, our close knit loved ones. Um,
Yeah.
but says, let's see, Elephant Man says, sure is funny when no extra ballots are found in Broward County. How right Florida is.
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's a lot of good old boys around here, especially in the non-city counties. You'll see a
Uh,
lot of that.
Ron Helton says Trump finally brought in Colonel McGregor. Wish he had done that in the beginning. McGregor wants into wars, which I loved hearing that. I love hearing that from anybody in the military.
Oh
If you're in the
yeah,
military and you tell me you don't want war, I'm like, that's the kind of military I want. You
right,
know, come at me, bro, but I'm not going to come at you.
right.
Right. But says he also says he is now senior advisor to the new Secretary of Defense. Trump will be
Good.
too damn old in 2024. That is not realistic. He won't be any
Yeah, I
older
think
than
so.
Biden is right now. He'll be
Yeah,
younger than
but
Biden is right now in 4 years.
yeah, I don't know if he's gonna want to though.
Well,
I mean, maybe he will.
if
He'll surprise. Maybe he'll surprise us. I don't know, but
if it isn't him, it'll be one of his kids.
yeah, I think that's more likely. I don't
So
know.
that's
I
what
don't
we'll
know
have.
that how likely that is, but it's definitely more likely.
That's what 21 and 22 will be the evolution of either a new Donald Trump campaign or the evolution of the next Trump that is going to go into office, where they will be put forward, they will start to be more played in the media, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But I fully expect a Trump in some way, shape, or form to be gunning for office in 2024. Uh, Wyatt says there's already evidence of conservative censorship. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the censorship is coming. That's the other thing you guys need to make your peace with. I don't care
Yeah.
which side it is. I mean, Trump is, if you look at the Trump side, he's already expressed throughout, and I've said this, John, I know you call me a doomsayer, but he's expressed interest in wanting to control social media, mainstream media, and maybe control is such a harsh word, but he wants to prevent negative narrative or fake news. That's the problem is he conflates fake news and negative Trump narrative together to where it's like, but of course, most of the mainstream media over the last 4 years has been Trump oriented, so I get it.
Yeah.
But you can't have that open door. You can't have that open door where you really want to start bringing a boot down on social media as well, because the then you will start to hear people hollering about their First Amendment rights in a much more visceral way than you ever imagined. And then the left want to police thought. They want to
Yeah.
police your words before they ever leave your mouth. They
Yep.
want you doing that. And controlling our speech mentally is just as fucked up as controlling our speech, through media,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
No, I
Uh,
agree.
but it's interesting because I saw something on Ed's server today over on J. Edgar server, and it really
Also, Ed's here. Have we said hi to
Oh,
Ed yet?
I don't know that I did. Hi, Ed. I see he
Hi,
did say
Ed.
something. Tubin, yeah, Tubin got
Yeah,
canned
Tubin got canned.
for
Yeah.
for for too much play in Zoom. I didn't know you could get in trouble for doing that on Zoom, so I'm not going to do that during the show anymore, folks. My promises have been made. I'm not going to do it anymore. But
That's good.
anyway, so a fella came out with, and this was over on CSO. What is CSO Online? I'm not familiar with the site, but
Yeah.
it seems to be focused on everything digital and security and privacy stuff like that. A lot of that focus. But anyway, he's an 18-year law enforcement veteran, and he's put out he put out a warning to be aware of Homeland Security training that's being pushed to local law enforcement. And the reason it's being pushed to local law enforcement is because over the last couple of years or more of the Homeland Security and FEMA or TSA Homeland and FEMA responsibilities of the NHS, excuse me, are starting to be handed off to local law enforcement, right? But he's, one of the things that he's talking about is domestic terrorists, and I am a little concerned about this from the standpoint of being a YouTuber,
Yeah.
and you'll see why in a moment. And you tell me, John, if any of this strikes you as, I don't know, maybe, qualifying or quantifying you as a domestic
Oh fuck.
terrorist. Here's the first one on the list: expressions of libertarian philosophies.
Wait, what?
Expressions of libertarian philosophies are a characteristic that qualifies a person as a potential domestic terrorist.
Wow.
Expressions of libertarian philosophies, John.
Wow. Holy shit.
Oh, here comes another one. Second Amendment oriented views, like an NRA or gun club membership, or even
Who's
holding
this
a
putting this out?
concealed carry permit.
Now who's this putting this out?
This is what his name is, James Wesley Rawls, and this was a statement, something he posted this on Axiom for Liberty, talking about local law enforcement being, this is the kind of training and things that they're being taught at local law enforcement level to watch for and help in spotting domestic terrorists. This is, part of the whole 9/11 Patriot Act, Homeland Security, all of it. This is part of that bubble, especially with so much going on with, potential domestic terrorism over 2020, right? So this is survivalist literature. If you have survivalist literature, you could be
Wow.
a domestic terrorist. Fictional books such as Patriots and 1 Second After are mentioned by name as part of the literature.
Wow.
Self sufficiency. If you're stockpiling food, ammo, hand tools, or medical supply, or things like medical supplies, that kind of self sufficiency makes you a potential domestic terrorist.
Wow.
Fear of economic collapse, such as buying up gold or barter items. Like, how much of the population has a fear right now of an
I
economic
think that
collapse?
applies to pretty much everyone.
Right?
Like, dude.
Religious views concerning the book of Revelations.
Okay, so my mom, I guess, is
Everybody
a
that's Christian. Oh, got
potential
you. Right,
terrorist.
right.
Yeah.
Expressed fears of Big Brother or big government.
Well, that goes with the first one, doesn't it? Libertarian
There,
philosophies.
you would think. Here's one. Now you're gonna love this. Homeschooling.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Homeschoolers.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Basically, if you don't trust the government, you're a potential domestic terrorist. I guess that
Right?
kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Reading, writing, pipe bomb making. Right?
Yeah, it's all the
It's
same thing.
right.
A,
Uh,
B, C, yeah.
Declarations of constitutional rights and civil liberties.
Yeah, can't have those, man.
Yeah, you don't want to
That
tell
shit.
anybody that you believe in your constitutional rights.
Right.
That's a prelude to domestic
God
terrorism.
damn.
Belief in a new world order conspiracy. That one. Okay, so that one I could be like, okay, I could maybe see a little bit of that, but of course they tack that on at the very end
I
because
don't
it's,
know.
expressions of libertarian philosophies
Yeah, Jesus
makes is
Christ.
first on the list.
All right, guys. Well, I am now a socialist. I am now part of Antifa. So since they're fine, and yeah, that's where we're going with now.
People engaged in the above act.
Government is good. We love the government on this channel. They're our favorite thing. In fact, we love them so much that we want a ton of government. We want all the government, and we definitely want them spying on us for sure. So you better be okay with that, or we're going to tell them that you're potentially a domestic terrorist, and we will snitch.
People engaged in these activities or mindset may be considered extremists or militia groups that exist in our communities and are hiding in plain sight, ready
Oh fuck!
to attack.
Wow, wow.
Are you
Sounds like
scared,
some
John?
extremely
You should be scared of
those
yourself.
those silly libertarians, man. I'm so scared of them right now. Like, ugh. Yes. See, Wyatt has the right idea. Government drone for every household. That's right.
Um, yeah, see, Helton, I see. I knew this would get Helton. But he says, well, that is anybody who wants or talks about liberty. The boot is pushing on the neck harder now.
Yep.
There's
I
nothing
like the next
extreme.
one. I like the next one. Anything about cookbooks? That's a good one. I
Right.
know what he's referencing. Yeah, it's a good one, Rob. I
Alphabet
like
says
it.
it seems harsh, but I can see the logic between libertarian and extreme view. And see, there it is. That's the thing right there. Okay. And Elephant Man, it's not to knock what you said, but the fact that we can see the logic there tells me that somehow the libertarian, I don't know, somebody's twisting the libertarian mindset.
People don't
Um,
understand what it is. Yeah.
right? Because that should have, above all else, that should be applauded just as much as a Republican mindset or a Democratic mindset.
No, we can't have that.
So I don't understand.
No,
I
you
don't
get to pick. You
understand.
get to pick big red government or big blue government. You don't get to pick less government. It's just you want your government to be blue or red. Those are your choices. What coat of paint are we putting on it this time?
See, I mean, this is the kind of profiling, that concerns me. So now, I mean, ultimately, any show, even one like ours, as bottom of the barrel as we are,
Hmm.
they can come at us
Yeah.
with legal recourse and investigate.
Right.
And that, they have, I mean, it really does seem to target a very specific group of people.
Yeah. It seems
And,
to be libertarians.
right,
Libertarians believe most of the
free,
things that they
yeah,
listed.
but what they don't, that's the,
Survivalism, self-sufficiency.
sure, but
That's all.
what it doesn't usually include is domestic terrorism, like killing people. This is not a libertarian philosophy or
Right.
ideology,
Right.
right? It's more like, oh, I don't want to kill him. You kill him. I'm not going to do it. You do it, right? You know,
Well, no, I mean it's more because libertarians believe in the non-aggression principle.
right.
So yeah, they're not going to be domestic terrorists. Like it's not going to happen.
Yeah, this. Helton asked who wrote that list. The DHS. Yes, this is part of DHS, and this is training material. Much like not just domestic terrorism, but for on the terrorist watch list. Things to watch for. Stockpiling food was always one of the things that they put forward in the Patriot Act. If you have more than 2 weeks worth of food in your home, you might be, it might be a
See, I
home
don't get
harboring a
that.
terrorist, because they wanted to make it far reaching. It gives them carte blanche to investigate anybody
Yeah.
in the country except poor people, but they'll cover that with other bullet
Right.
points. And that is what I had the biggest problem with the Patriot Act. And as these Homeland Security scopes broaden to where
Yeah.
they can start to umbrella more and more things and create more loose fitting profiles for these people. I mean, you know, how many people in this country does that list I just read off make potential domestic terrorists out of? And by potential, meaning warranting investigation. That's a large amount of people.
Yeah, for sure. Also, real quick, Ed donated a diamond over on D Live. So yeah, thank you, Ed. And Midget B donated a lemon to us, which is also awesome.
That
So
is
yeah, thank you
that
to
is
him.
awesome shit. Ed's our
Yeah,
diamond in the rough. It would be okay if you used some lube, but we'll take what we can get.
Yeah.
Um, Helton says, where was I at? Oh, it's the government drones. Helton says, I thought for a minute it might be AOC, the barista. That's another one that's
Yeah.
bothering me. That list she put together, and people out in the civilized, quote unquote, civilized world are taking that list and running with it, and getting all these. Fuck.
Well,
I mean, come on. You know
so
what?
also she didn't make the list.
Well, yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, but I just want to make
She
sure we're
won't
clear
take
that
credit for it, but
no, there was already existed the
who
list
who had put it together.
just some like delusional lefties. I don't know who exactly it
Okay,
was.
so
I don't know
AOC
exactly who it
supporters
was.
probably, so she gets to take
I
credit.
mean, I guess I wouldn't give her credit.
The buck stops with the
There's
cause of
legal
the disease.
implications in saying that it was her, though. So I do not say that it was her.
Oh.
You can say whatever you want.
Mm. All right, followers of the left, as it were. But no, this idea that we can hold people accountable for who they support. Fuck you. You know what?
Oh shit! It's Stephen Ignoramus popping up in the chat. What's up, man?
Fucking it.
We're just talking about how we're all potentially domestic terrorists because we spout libertarian philosophies
What do you think?
and
Yeah, I think.
self-sufficiency. Oh yeah, Stephen's definitely potentially a domestic terrorist as
Oh
well,
yeah,
according to.
Stephen Ignoramus
It's all about
qualifies.
self-sufficiency and
Yes.
survivalism and all that kind of
Um,
stuff.
does he have any fears of big government?
See, Stephen, imagine being pro-liberty. Yeah, exactly. That's why as soon as we read that list out, I actually came out as a socialist and part of Antifa. And yeah, we want lots of government now. So make sure you continue with that narrative. Lots of government.
Now,
The most government. It'll be fantastic.
funny is, I just got through reading about a guy. Oh God, what is that? What 14 Woodsman? Is that what he calls his show? 14 Woodsman. But anyway, it's a husband and wife. They have 14 sons. And the article was talking that they're getting ready to have their 15th, which is finally a girl. You know, but
Yeah.
he's got 14 boys, and he does stuff on YouTube where he teaches them about guns and hunting and doing all sorts
Oh
of
yeah.
stuff like that, right? And
Sound like a potential domestic
right,
terrorist to me
that sounds
too.
like a
Yeah.
terrorist cell, a domestic terrorist cell.
Oh, dude, that's true. Yeah, it's the
There's a
whole
whole
cell of them.
he has given birth to his own cell of domestic terrorists.
Fucking based.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's
somebody
funny.
got basted a few times putting out 14
Yeah.
sons. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, half the time I'm just saying, I shake my head at the idea of 14 sons.
Yeah, that's that's a lot.
Elfman says, how do you propose putting half the country in re-education camps? You don't put them in re-education camps. You re-educate. You just go ahead and turn the entire country into a re-education camp.
Right.
See, that's all it. That's all that's really the only alternative left. Is again, me with my inevitability talk. There really is no other alternative to controlling our society from a government standpoint other than bringing down the
Shit.
boot, whether it be the right boot or the left boot. It is the only way you're ever going to control it all and keep it orderly. They're going to come to that realization in a few years if they haven't already, and they're going to figure out a way to implement it and do it, and they're going to sucker punch us. They're going to sneak it by. 1 minute will be free, and the next minute will be like, what the hell happened?
Oh
What just
shit.
happened?
Yeah, no. Yeah. Fucking crazy. So yeah, we gotta acknowledge some new people we got showing up. We got Might Be Wrong. He's showing up saying, who are you talking about? We're talking about people who are potentially domestic terrorists, according to the DHS. Um, and apparently that could be anybody. Major Victories is what up, jerk weasels? What up? And yeah, that's it for new people. So welcome,
It
guys.
says it would be the half that have guns, right? Right. So right there,
Yeah,
I mean, and these are open doors, right? This is the kind of stuff that opens doors to real fascist type, you know, moves by the government. I mean, expressions of libertarian philosophies in and of itself, if they wanted to act on that and
yeah,
quell talk of libertarian philosophies and principles and civil liberties, these things being pointing to domestic terrorism. Well, there's enough fear-mongered people out there to just run with that and say, go ahead and do what you need to do. I don't want to
yeah.
hear, I don't want to hear it anymore. And if it could lead to my kid's school getting shot up, you've definitely got to stop it. So I mean, it's fucking scary. I mean, it's one of those things where, you literally have to ask yourself, you know, do I want to live to see that point? Because
Yeah.
I don't know how you turn it around, other than trying to get in the system and rework the system, because the alternative, you know, the alternative. It's just fucking insane. I'm Canada. I'm just saying, it may not be good for much, but they got wide open spaces up
No, you could
there.
have just stopped right there. They're not good for much. Fucking
I don't know.
Canadians, man.
But they're going to think I'm a domestic terrorist talking like this, so I better watch what I
For
say.
real.
Um, Ed says, I think they're going to put every third person in camps and hope, telling Alpha Man, and every third person in camps and hope the other two get the picture. Helen says, I don't know if you guys talked about it, but I remember when Rick Perry suggested that Texas should leave the Union and return to being a republic, nobody went after him for saying that. No, they
Yeah, that would
didn't.
be awesome. They should do it. I mean, I don't think they'll last too long, unfortunately. But I mean, I'm always down for secession. Do
Well,
it.
here's the thing. My gist and my take on this is that these things have been a part of Homeland Security's criteria for a while. But the main concern is what he's talking about is how in the last couple of years so much more of TSA and FEMA and in Homeland Security roles are being pushed to local law enforcement. And I guess the concern there is how, you know, while I'm not speaking to police brutality, I'm speaking to taking the law in their own hands, as it were. Um, you know, Local law enforcement is much more willing to profile and and, and look at these things than from a federal level, right? At the federal level, they're
Right.
too busy sifting through millions of conversations, as opposed to local law enforcement, who can focus on a much smaller scale and really pursue things from these aspects. And if this is the kind of thing they're being taught, well, you know,
Yeah.
that's it's I don't want this kind of power, this kind of mindset feeding into our local law enforcement, you know.
For sure. Yeah.
Because I have always been of a mind that no matter whether or not you're innocent until proven guilty, police approach an arrest, in my experience, from
Oh
the
yeah.
aspect of you're
Guilty.
guilty
Yeah.
until we pass you off into the court systems, where you once again become innocent until proven guilty,
Right.
right? Um, that just opens up a whole lot of bad mojo.
Yeah.
Um, hell, might be wrong. Said public schools are prisons and brainwashing facilities. That's true.
Agreed. Yeah.
Uh, that's what they turned into. Elephant
Yep.
Man says they have us all glued to our glass pebbles. Absolutely. Helton says, hell, we are not free now. I can't get on a plane, drive a vehicle, or start a business without government
Right.
permission. Right?
100%.
That is a
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, Elephant Man brings up something. I posted that posted in Discord
Yeah.
today. Ron DeSantis
Yeah, my
Is,
too.
we talked about, he mentioned this previously, as Midget pointed out also, but he mentioned this previously, but now he's actually got it written up. He's got legislation that he's putting forward to try and get it in place that to expand the stand your ground law. So if you see someone doing something unlawful in the midst of a protest slash riot primarily, which is going to negatively impact citizens or businesses, you now can open fire, right? You
Yeah.
can
Hmm.
violently defend said situation.
Yeah.
Um, that's pretty aggressive in a sense,
Yeah.
right?
Especially since we haven't had riots in Florida.
He
Like
has
it
made.
just.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, so especially that, like now we definitely won't. Like
Well,
since we have, I don't doing that, at least obviously assuming that it passes and everything,
well,
then
he submitted that there was enough that happened in Florida to justify putting this in place, and he's also made it a third degree felony to protest and like block the roads, because that's one of the things that they
yeah.
were doing here was blocking expressways, interstates, that kind of thing.
Oh, were they? I didn't even hear about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that happened in a couple of places. It happened over in St. Pete. It happened here on 408 at one point. But he's made that a third degree felony. And on top of that, he's removed most, if not all, of the liability of being in your vehicle
And running your
and running
motherfuckers
into a
over.
crowd of
Ah,
protesters that
yeah.
are blocking the road.
Vroom vroom,
So he's kind
motherfucker.
of given an open door to run your van through that group of protesters if they happen to be crossing the street. um, Now, I'm kind of laughing about this only from the aspect of this is kind of a ballsy thing to put in the hands of the typical Florida man.
Yeah,
He
that's
said I
true.
could shoot looters. Hold my beer.
Right? I mean, what is a shoplifter but a single looter, right? I mean, hey,
Um, Ron
and
Held
of
says
Altus.
if Biden actually wins, then domestic terrorism will be the least of our problems. He's doing away with the ban of people from countries the U.S. bombs. Right. Helton says they will. Also says they will come here seeking revenge. How many high-profile terrorist attacks have happened since Trump placed that ban? I can't think of any.
Not
Well,
in the
not here,
U.S.
not in the U.S.
Yeah,
But of course, we
right.
haven't really had any foreign terrorist attacks since 9/11, have we? Nothing major
There's
like
been some
the
attempts.
subway
There's
attempt.
been some attempts, yeah, but I
But
don't think.
most terrorist attacks have happened over in Europe. Am I correct?
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He says yes. I read that earlier. Alpha Man. He says no. Oklahoma will join Texas. I can guarantee that. Many in Oklahoma have family in Texas. I had family in Texas when I lived in Oklahoma. That's weird.
Crazy.
Is that a
Yeah,
thing?
guess
Billions
so.
of conversations. Remember that the NSA is spying on the world. That's true. Good point,
Yeah,
Elton.
you probably
Um,
have to get someone's attention before they look into you. They're not just like listening in all the time.
um,
Like you need to get their attention first, and then they pull that shit up.
It says he only profiles natives with a capital N, so I'll leave that open to interpretation. Um,
Suppose.
it says you could always open fire. The only problem came up with the government's opinion of it. True, right,
Right.
right. But
Yeah.
now you've got a much more open door to defend, to stand your ground. Let's call it
Yeah.
stand our ground.
It
Um,
basically widens the government's opinion of it.
Elephant Man says I may have to move, but I can't stand the fucking heat.
Dude, it's oppressive.
Oh,
Seriously. It's
and
bad.
Yeah, and Avoltis was on Steven's stream. I think they were talking about
Yeah.
secession.
I was watching it earlier, yeah. I just didn't say anything. I lurked.
You're gay.
I know.
But anyway, so I'm not gonna go. We're reaching the end of our time. Just I don't know.
Oh, hang on real quick, because Ron Helton donated a ice cream over on D Live, so thank you for that. Appreciate it, man.
Um,
But I just want to acknowledge anytime I see it.
you should. Is there? Do we have a chest we can pop?
We do. I will
Ooh,
pop the chest.
hold on, kids. He's gonna pop that chest. Pop it out, John. Pop that chest.
Yeah.
Pop that. Jerk, twerk, jerk, and twerk.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. What can we do for 30 seconds? See if you can do the down belows in 30 seconds. Ready? Go.
Oh shit, I only have 20 now. Yeah, so you can find all of our links down below. We've got our Twitter at the GenGapP. We've got our Discord server. A lot of fun. Go check it out. People are in there. They're awesome. We got our subscribe star down below as well. If you like us, you can give us some money, which is always fun. Um, and we got freedomscoop.com where you can find all of our stuff and other people who are less important, such as J. Edgar. We got Stephen Ignoramus over there. Got Already Conservative. Got Wyatt from the Breakdown with Birkenhoff. And Freckles and Brit Show is over there. So make sure you go and do that. And while you're over on freedomscoop.com, you can buy our merch. We've got shirts, which is like the one I'm wearing here. And we've got mugs. They're awesome. Make sure you go and get yourself one. They look really good. And you can put the code GenGap at checkout to get 15% off your purchase. So make sure you do that. Also, real quick, we've got more donations over here. We've got, let's see, we got Elephant Man donated a diamond. Thank you. He says, take this money. We will.
Thank you.
Ed's Blog donated 3 ice creams.
3.
That's awesome. And then Elephant Man donated another diamond.
Sweet.
So thank you very much for that. Holy shit.
We feel special.
Yeah, very special.
I like to be special.
Yep. Our luckiest followers, Ed and Elephant Man. Makes sense.
Yep.
That's what those little last minute donations
They're
were
very
about.
chatty,
yeah.
Cathy.
Yeah. So awesome.
But we do appreciate everybody showing up and having chat with us tonight. Just look, I don't know. There's too many bells that can't be unrung. I have to say the election, it's not going to go the way Trump wants it to. The writing's on the wall. It's going to be shut down in courts all over the country as these lawsuits come forward. Now, whether it's a concerted effort by the left to make sure he doesn't get reelected, or whether it's just the simple fact that the vote is right, I don't think he's going to succeed in this. So, a lot of changes are coming. A lot of fucking weird changes are coming, and we got to be prepared for that in a certain way, but not in a bad way. I don't want to.
Right.
I'm not promoting anything bad.
Not in a potential domestic terrorist way.
I love Big Brother.
Yes, we all do. Everyone on this channel, all of our chat, love Big Brother.
We're fans. We're going on the record and say we like big government. We don't want them to shut us down.
No, we don't.
Poopy libertarian talk.
Poopy
talk, libertarians. God. Poopy talk.
So silly. So silly.
BB guns. We only need BB guns.
No, we don't even need that. No toy guns. We don't do any of that. Nope.
It's bad enough you got rid of my candy cigarettes, bastards. I could probably quit smoking if they come out with candy cigarettes again.
Right, you still look cool,
Right? You don't lose anything, and I don't have to do that stupid vape thing.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get the hell out of here.
Fucking vape thing.
Hey, watch out for your liberties that you can sit around and pretend you still have. So
no, we don't want them anymore. Remember, we just let the government have them.
Well, I was just telling those people, those people out there that are.
We don't talk to those people.
Those people that are potential domestic terrorists, not us. Elephant Man says gum cigarettes. That doesn't hold the same.
I was young enough. I'm old enough, I guess, to have remembered candy cigarettes, and then when they went away. So I do remember them. I had some. I had 1 pack my whole life.
Last thing I'll say, the thing that stands out that I always remember as soon as I think back to candy cigarettes was the little red dot that they would put at the end to make it look like a lit cigarette.
Like it was lit, yeah.
Because it was just always just tapped on there, just not consistent at all. But that's always what I remember about those. But anyway, we're gonna get the hell out of here. We'll be back again on Friday at 8:30. We will be having Mr. Behavior is supposed to be showing up on the show on Friday night. That'll be at 8:30, like I said, and then we'll be back again next Wednesday again for another rousing episode of Shooting the Shit. More of this same crap because the story's not going to change for another couple of weeks. But
Nope.
that's at 9:30. Both of those times are in the Eastern Time Zone, the one and only true time zone.
Correct.
Make sure you make note of that if you live in one of those super
Inferior time
lame.
zones.
Inferior is good, lame,
Yeah.
all those things that you must be if you're in those time zones. But outside of that, we'll be out of here. And thanks a lot for everybody. Hit that like button on your way out if you haven't done it already. John, have yourself a great night. Peace
Always
out.
do. See you guys.